Thank you, John, for a magnificent talk. And if you all do what John has recommended, we'll soon win this battle. I couldn't help but think while I was sitting up here of our first rally. John was one of our speakers. And I had written to 12 or 15 people asking if they would be a speaker at our rally. Nobody knew me, nobody knew anything about us. And I thought we'd probably, out of the 12 or 15, I thought we'd get, probably might get 3 or 4 because they were all big name people. And Colonel Bunker sort of, on the sidelines, sort of took a little interest in, but didn't do very much. He wanted to see what I could do. And so well, I didn't write to anybody until the 10th of December, and we had the rally on the 6th of January. Now, it wasn't because I wasn't willing to do it. I never dreamed of doing it. What I was waiting was for some of the big-name people to get in touch with big-name people to invite them, but nobody did. And here we had the program all ready and all, and no speakers, so I sent out these letters. And we had 12 speakers at our rally. And the rally started at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and it went until 10 o'clock Sunday night, and we had a speaker every hour. And we had, there was no time for lunch and no time for dinner. It just went on and on. And I remember one time talking to Colonel Bunker, and I said, I guess at that time I had 5 or 6 speakers. And he said, well, Anna, how are you going to get them all in one day? He said, you're going to have to run this rally 3 days. Little did he know. But they were wonderful because they came and, I remember we had a press conference at 5 o'clock on Saturday, the day before the rally, and I expected to have 2 or 3 reporters come with a notebook and probably a photographer or 2 to take pictures. We had the biggest press conference that was ever held, I think, in the United States, didn't we, John? We had the UPI and the Associated Press. We had all the radio and television people, and we met in one of the halls here, and for speakers we had John Rousseau, we had Ezra Taft Benson, we had Kent Courtney, and we had we had everybody. And so that was how it started, but I think it was just God that was doing it because nobody else in the world would do it. And the day of our first rally, we had probably 200 or 300 pickets outside walking around, and we had all the news media, and we had radio and television, all out there, and you'd really truly think it was a presidential candidate or something that was doing this. But I couldn't help but think, looking over here to see what God has done in 10 years, and it's to people like Colonel Bunker and Robert Montgomery and our speakers who came, John Rousseau and all the speakers who came, that this has been accomplished. And of course it's you, the people. We put it on, we supply the place, we try to get the very best speakers, but if the people don't come, it doesn't amount to anything. And I just want, and I think you probably all realize, we don't pay one of our speakers an honorarium or our artists or anything. But we do, because we're not an organization, it's just Colonel Bunker's the chairman of it. And when it's all over, we always run a big deficit, and there's nobody else to pay it except Colonel Bunker. And that's what worries me, is because now this is the 10th year he's doing it, and I don't know what Colonel Bunker's finances are, but I know and I know one time someone said, well, Colonel Bunker, you're not married, and he said, no, Anna won't let me. But he's really, truly wonderful. I hope you all get to, and most of you people know Colonel Bunker. And of course, you know he was aide-de-camp to General Douglas MacArthur, and he was his aide for 6.5 years. And then when they started the Douglas MacArthur Memorial, Colonel Bunker was the first vice president. Well, in March, the president, Mr. Duckworth, was murdered in Norfolk. And that made Colonel Bunker president of the Douglas MacArthur Memorial. So he's got 3 things. He's got the John Birch Society, he's got the New England, well, I guess the Douglas MacArthur Memorial comes before the rally, and then he's got the rally, not talking about 101 other things he does. So we're very, very grateful to Colonel Bunker, and I know you all are, because if it wasn't for Colonel Bunker, there wouldn't be any rally. It's his name. It's Colonel Bunker's name, his reputation, his honor, his integrity that makes this all possible. And so, well, he fights with me all the time. And if you think I'm smart or I do a good job, would you tell him? Because he fights with me all the time. He doesn't think I'm too smart. Now, I just want to say one word about Reed Benson. One of the nicest things I saw this morning was Reed Benson's wife and his 7 adopted children were sitting in the ballroom west out there, and they were all here to honor his father on the dinner on Tuesday night that we're having in his honor. And Reed's sister Barbara is an opera singer, and she's coming down from Ontario to sing at her father's dinner. Now, it's going to be a wonderful dinner. It's going to be a wonderful tribute to a great man, and I hope as many of you who can will come. If you haven't made your reservations, please make them as soon as possible, because we must give account to the hotel. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For a wonderful time.